right, so first off, all praise to Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops, the great millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as prophets of doom. All right, these are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also, shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number. So this is going to be in continuation of reading about this technology that is spoken about here in Revelation 13, verse 16 and 17. Okay, so let's go ahead and read that first. It reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Verse 17 reads, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So in 16, it mentions an "and he." All right, this is specifically speaking of the top banking families, and then those who help uphold, all right, this Edomite dominion. All right, causeth all. The word causeth goes back to the word poieo, which means to make ready, and so at the same time to institute. And a lot of the methods that this rulership uses is to, all right, cause a problem, which garners a reaction, okay, which allows them to present their solution. All right, and the all that they're going to causeth to receive this mark are, like it says here, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So no matter your status, whether that be rich or poor, big or small, whatever. All right, no matter your status, from every end of each spectrum and everything in between. Okay, you're going to be faced with this dilemma. All right. So if you're a part of the system, which means the buying and selling of things, all right, which most people are, okay, that's how you get your clothing, your shelter, your food, okay, your medicines, all right, your so-called medicines. You are a part of the system, okay? And being that we have been a part of the system for so long, a lot of people rely on these things. All right, they rely on being a part of their system for some type of comfortability. So if you think that you're going to avoid receiving this mark, which is a technology that we're going to read, a little information on, then you're going to be ousted. All right, you're going to be put out of society. Your life is not going to be comfortable. All right, even within the system, but they're not going to tell you that. All right, your life is going to be uncomfortable if you're outside of the ways of the Lord. All right, your life is going to be uncomfortable even being in the ways of the Lord. The difference being that the ones whom the Lord love have hope, the things that they hope for, to look forward to. Okay, we all suffer the same things, but we have hope. All right, being the remnant and the elect. All right, right now we are a hopeful remnant and the elect, but we are going to be, Lord willing, we are going to be the ones that the Lord keeps from receiving this technology that we're about to speak about here. All right, it says to receive, causeth all to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, what that right hand goes to is usually when you make agreements, you shake hands, right? So it can be your left, your right, it doesn't matter. It can actually, and then you can, it says that anything from your shoulder to your hand is considered your hand. All right, but you don't want to receive this, is what I'm saying, anywhere. It doesn't matter if you received it in your knee, in your big toe. All right, do not receive this micro C hip. All right, and that is the technology. the micro CHIP, the RFID CHIP, which is going to contain everything that you have in your wallet as far as ID, your medical cards, your medical information, your keys to your cars, your houses, your safes. All right, all these things are going to be put on this micro CHIP. All right, and if you don't have it, they're going to oust you out of society. Okay. Also, your money. All right, your money is going to be on there also. So again, if you don't receive this at the time of them making it mandatory, all right, you're going to not be able to buy or sell, which is what Revelation 13 and 17 also points out, the making mandatory of this technology. And they are taking steps to make this thing mandatory. All right, the whole world is going in this direction. Okay, so what I want to talk about here is, and that word forehead goes back to metapon, which means the space between the eyes, all right, in your head. All right, we give a couple of examples. We give Walletmor, which is WALLETMOR. That is one word. The other example is Neuralink, or Elon Musk's brain technology. Okay, there are different divisions of Neuralink. There are Neuralink blind sight, Neuralink telepathy. Okay, and then there are the competitors of these two examples. So it's not necessarily the names of the competitors nor the names of the people surrounding this technology that should be paid attention to as much as it is the technology itself. All right, because this is indeed the mark of the beast. Okay, so what we're going to do here, since we read the scriptures already, we're going to go to Google AI. And the question that I asked here today is latest news regarding Neuralink telekinesis technology. Now, we're going to get into, let me see. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get into, because telekinesis, all right, is also known as telepathy, which they'll mention that in this reading that we're about to do. But I did, later on, I asked a direct question about telepathy, and we're going to do, Lord willing, we'll do a video on the results from that question also. But right now we're gonna ask again, all right, latest news regarding Neuralink telekinesis technology. Okay, so we give the warnings about what steps they could take to make this thing sound appeasing to the world, all right, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to make it sound appeasing through convenience, through peace, all right, through safety. And I mean the idea of these things. Not that they are going to be peaceful, not that they're going to be safe, and they may be convenient, all right, but that should not supersede your relationship with the Lord. That should not supersede what the Lord told you to do, which is avoid this technology, okay, no matter what. All right, and that's the point. We're telling you right now everything that they're saying about these technologies, and we're also pointing out that they are going to try to persuade you, okay, to come over and to do the very thing that will separate you from your power, because there is no scriptures pointing to repentance after you receive this thing. All right, once you receive this thing, that is it. That is it. All right, so it's either trust these people to hold up their side of this technology being safe, peaceful, all right, trusting these people, or, all right, Lord willing, which really there's no, Lord willing, all right, and the Lord is going to protect whom loves him and whom he loves, all right, truly. So this information is going to furthermore convince the ones that are the Lord's to not take this thing. They're going to be prepared mentally, spiritually and physically for the coming times, right? That are going to be rough on the people who opt out of uh, staying within what this system uh, is. Okay, so this is why we do these videos. All right, it may not mean everything to everyone, but it will mean something to someone. All right, and those people that it means something to, you could very well be um, of the remnant and the elect. Okay, so this is why we do these videos like this. So let's go ahead and read this question again and get on with some reading. It says, latest news regarding Neuralink telekinesis technology. So it goes on to say Neuralink's work on telekinesis is part of its broader telepathy project, a brain computer interface, or BCI. So this is amongst that technology that he is going to causeth you to receive. All right, this is the one that will be in the metapon, all right, or in the forehead. Okay, the BCI, brain computer interface. All right. Again, it says Neuralink's work on telekinesis is a part of its broader telepathy project, a brain computer interface, or BCI, designed to allow people to control devices with their thoughts. Although not true psychic telekinesis, Elon Musk has used the term interchangeably with telepathy to describe this device control. Recent news includes Neuralink's February 2025 update on the CONVOY, or Convoy study, which focuses on controlling assistive robotic arms, and news in September of 2025 that the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, or USPTO, blocked Neuralink's trademark applications for telepathy and telekinesis because another company, Prophetic, filed for them first, right? So there's another competitor named Prophetic. So the world is definitely moving in this direction, okay? And that's not that's not just coincidence that this company's name is Prophetic, all right? And they're working on a BCI, or a brain computer interface, or Metapon technology, all right? So it says key updates. Neuralink's February 2025 blog post mentioned Alex, the first participant in the Convoy study, who is exploring controlling an assistive robotic arm, or ARA, okay, with the Neuralink device, which is a significant step beyond just smart devices. Now you can see here, right now they have everybody moving into phones, putting your IDs on their phone, all your important information on your phone. All right, but pretty soon, well, they are already planning on moving past that. They're just trying to funnel everyone into the path that's going to lead directly towards this next technology that, as it says here, is a significant step beyond just smart devices. All right. So it says in early September 2025, news broke that Neuralink's applications to trademark the names telepathy and telekinesis were blocked by the USPTO, which we just read above. All right. It says another company, Prophetic, filed earlier for these trademarks, leading to the block on Neuralink's requests. Despite trademark issues, the underlying technology remains telepathy, aiming to restore autonomy to individuals with paralysis by enabling them to control computers and other devices with their thoughts. Now, again, this world has most people, right? The spirit of this world has most people not even considering the Most High, Yahweh, all right, nor his son, Yahweh Shai, all right? So you're not even considering, at this point, most of the world is not even considering that the Lord spoke about this technology that is new to everyone here for the most part, although it's been around for a while, all right? That the Lord spoke about this, all right, and had someone write it in these pages. No one's thinking about that. All right, they're making excuses to stay amongst this society, this system. Okay, despite these words being true and faithful. Okay, and they're not even mentioning it. All right, in all these readings, they do not mention the Most High at all. All right, so let's. Next, it says, what telekinesis means for Neuralink. It says Musk's use of telekinesis is a conceptual term to describe the ability to move or interact with devices via thought, not true psychic power. And that's what I was going to say. We've said it in the past videos that mostly when one hears about this technology, okay, if you're not properly grounded, if you're not in this truth, or if the truth is not in you, you're not going to think on a spiritual side of things. You're not going to consider the Lord. The only thing that you're looking at is your quality of life. All right, again, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and your pride of life. And this is what the world does. All right, the world, the people in the world are trying to keep up with the Joneses in the spirit. All right, you want to be a part of this place, so you will do whatever you got to do, even if it means not considering the Almighty. Okay, the Most High Power that created everything. No one considers that, but still, they'll speak like they do. They'll speak like they love the Lord, all right, which they don't. When it boils down to it, you don't, because you don't consider His word. All right, you have no consideration for His men, the truth. Okay, you just want to do your own thing. So it goes on to say product development. It says the focus remains on the implantable device, the link, which translates neural signals into actions, allowing users to control devices such as phones, computers, and robotic arms. Okay? Man. It goes on to say future outlook. It says clinical trials. Neuralink continues to progress with clinical trials, including the PRIME study and the newer Convoy study. I think in the past video we talked about the PRIME study. I can't remember if it was on this channel or on my previous channel. All right, but we spoke about PRIME study. That looks very familiar. All right, but again, it says Neuralink continues to progress with clinical trials, including the PRIME study and the newer Convoy study, to test and refine the BCI's ability to control assistive devices. And again, all of this sounds good to the world, okay? To us, we hear this a little bit different. All right, we hear this prophecy that we read in Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17, knocking at the door. All right, and we see how many people are going to fall for this. They're going to call for this type of technology. All right. It says potential expansion. It says the company aims to expand the functionality beyond computer control to enable users to perform complex tasks, ultimately restoring autonomy and new dimensions of human potential. And this is all the world is worried about. Again, they are not considering the most important thing, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Right? And what the word says, what the truth of this whole thing is. All they're going to see is that they want to either have some kind of quality of life by keeping up with technology, or that they'll want someone else to have it by signing up. Can you imagine if you have a family member that is a quote unquote vegetable, okay? They're still there. The brain is still functioning, but they're paralyzed everywhere else. And you want to feel like you are taking steps to give them some kind of quality of life. So you sign them up for this. All right. A lot of people are going to fall for this. But we bring this to the true believers, right? So that they can see and understand every angle, all right, that they're going to be tempted with. As a matter of fact, let's go here to the Apocrypha. We read Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. Let's read that again. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." All right, so we know not to trust the enemy. Okay. Same book, but down a few verses at verse 16, it reads, "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips." Didn't all this sound good? Sounds like they're making advancements to help you. All right. It's going to separate you from your power, man. "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood." Verse 17, "If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee." Now you can go back and think of 2020, the year 2020, and you can look at the things that were happening around then. All right, you can look at the solution that they came up with. All right, and a lot of people deny some of the effects of the solution that they presented, but you have no way of proving that they were actually there to help you. All right, a lot of people got rich off of that solution. Okay, and the ones that they said would disappear if they didn't accept their solution. All right, we're here and healthier than most people that took that solution that they presented, if you understand what I'm saying. And this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. All right. So we can stay in that same book, and I'm going to go to chapter 2 and read verse 1. I believe that's where it's at. Let's see. Yeah. So Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1. Because we're all going to be bombarded with why we should receive this MOTB. It's going to start off gradually. People are receiving this thing voluntarily now. All right, it's coming through as passive and peaceful, but then they're going to go as hard as they did in 2020 and making threats. All right, these are not going to be empty threats. All right, but this is something that we have to pray that the Lord keeps us safe from. All right, these are the temptations that are coming. All right, and Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1 reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation." All right, it's going to be very tempting, to receive a little bit of morsel of food, to go ahead and receive a little cut in your hand or in your head and have something inserted in there that you shouldn't. All right, the temptation is going to be there. Verse 2 says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble." Verse 3 says, "Cleave unto him," okay, Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, "and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." Okay, so we know these temptations are coming, but we know that the path that we are on now is the only path for us. All right. Now again, let's go to and then we'll cut the video out. But I want to make a stop here in Revelation 3 and 10. All right. If you endure. Okay, Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay. Let me read 11 and 12 also. It says, behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power, right? Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai, which is the Lord's spiritual mark, right? The Thawa, right? The mark, um, the Thawa is a mark that, let me see. Oh, mark of exemption from judgment. Okay. All right. It says, in the name of the holy city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. All right, we have to endure through all these things that we know are coming upon this earth. All right, and how do we know them? We know them through the guidance of the men of the Lord. How do they know? They know through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right. So I hope that came through a sincere and edifying. Do not take the mark of the beast, the charagma. Do not take the mark of the beast. Do not take the micro C-hip nor the RFID C-hip. All right, because that is exactly what it is. It is the mark of the beast. So again, I hope that came through as sincere and edifying. And with that, all praise to Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the prophets of doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I'm of that number, and Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.